of Power, Lady Pauline back from Las Vegas. I'm filling in also for Stephanie James, attorney at law, attorney at war. Today we have a special guest co-host. Her name is Dawn Kelly. She has her own business called the Nourish Spot. And I'm also here with Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the Honorable Mayor of Suffolk Boulevard, who has all the news about what's going on in the community. Welcome to our world, Hour of Power. Dawn, it's wonderful having you on.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you so much. And thank you, Glenn. I'm happy to be here with you guys on Caribbean Buzz.
Yes.
All right.
Tell me about your business. I know I interviewed you last year sometime, and I see here you are going to be receiving an SBA award for your business. That is awesome, Dawn.
Thank you so much. Things have been great since we swung open our doors on September 9th, 2017. It's actually 2 years to the day that my corporate job was eliminated. And my kids and I were really, really proud of what we've been able to do in South Jamaica, Queens. We feel like we are changing lives in Queens. We're making people healthier. They're actually eating and drinking more fruits and vegetables and wheatgrass and ginger. And as a result of that, I have a lot of fans in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's great, Dawn. Tell me, when you opened, did you think, being that you was in Jamaica, Queens, did you think you was going to get the response that you have gotten from the community coming in and eating all this healthy stuff? Because we know, we were used to our oxtail and our rice and peas and curry goat and stuff like that.
Well, actually, at first, I wasn't quite sure what the reception of the neighborhood would be. But I saw this movie a long time ago. I forgot the guy's name, Kevin. But it was Kevin Costner, yes. And it was about a field. He was building a baseball field. And
Field of Dreams.
Yes. And I will never forget the line, "If you build it, they will come." And so when God gave me the idea to actually place and position a healthy food and beverage bar in South Jamaica, Queens, I was obedient and I did it. And as a result, I can't keep the people from out of the doors. I've had to hire more people because the demand is so much that me and the guy that I had working for me during the day, we can't handle the reception anymore. It's just that many people walking in, as well as the delivery apps that we have, because you can get food from us through DoorDash and Uber Eats and Seamless and Postmates. And so as a result, we are feeding people all over Queens and Brooklyn, because one of the drivers yesterday showed me that she was actually taking one of our smoothies all the way to Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
Glenn, I know you love to eat healthy.
Exactly. I was jumping in here. The health industry is a multi-trillion-dollar business. And so for us to be involved in that and for you to take it on yourself to bring to our community is awesome. And I'd like to see you grow and develop even maybe multiple spots.
Locations.
Okay?
Yes.
Because we are beginning to understand the power of eating healthy.
Yes.
I myself don't take any kind of medications. I take a golden seal and echinacea, and I've been doing that. I don't take anything over the counter.
Good.
Since 1990.
Good.
So I'm very much about being healthy and eating healthy.
Good.
And in fact, I'm fasting for Lent.
Yes.
And so I'm reducing all my carbs and just doing vegetables and some kind of protein. But this is something that is new to our culture, but it's not necessarily new to the world. When you think about it, fasting for Lent, fasting for Ramadan, all of those particular religious entities have a form of fasting because you have to give your body a rest.
That's right.
And in doing so, it helps you to live longer.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, last week I was very bad. I was in Las Vegas and I ate everything under the sun. I don't usually eat, meat and stuff, but they forced it down my throat. Let me put it.
Well, listen. The key to healthy eating is not that you can't, but you moderate.
Yes, balance.
It's always
true.
about moderating.
Yes.
Because I know one of the guys from the International Black Summit, Orrin, who's been a health freak forever, eats raw sometimes, but every now and then he'll eat pork, he'll eat beef. One of the things that you have to remember is you got to allow your body to tell you what it needs.
Exactly.
Because it will tell you. If I needed salt, I'll buy some potato. I'll unconsciously be drawn to some potato chips or something. So don't beat yourself up.
Oh, okay.
Don't
beat myself up. All right.
but it's a natural. It really is a natural occurrence, and sometimes you wanna. Sometimes you wanna make sure that you indulge.
Yes, I do want to indulge, but now I'm going to have to indulge in a healthy way. Spring is on the way. Spring is coming. I got to lose like 10, 20 pounds. I feel it. So I'll be coming over to the Nourish Spot and getting some health stuff from you, or asking you to send it to my house.
Yes, come on by, because I would tell you that I have a couple of customers that have come into me to tell me that they have indeed lost weight, because they come in and they get a salad every day, and they moderate what they're putting in their mouth on a regular basis. I also have customers that are managing gout and arthritis and heart disease and cancer, and they all come in and tell me that their doctors have sent them to me. We actually have a doctor's office down the block from the Nourish Spot.
Oh, wow.
And I actually service the doctors. They come in and we actually have a book where we put people's names down, because they become regular customers and we know what they want and we know them by name. And so I believe that what we're doing, and I want to back up a little bit. There was a PBS special not too long ago called What the Health. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people watch that show. Okay. And as a result of that, they have indeed changed their diet, okay? Because they saw on TV how the fast food that they were eating, wasn't necessarily feeding their body correctly. And so as a result, I get a lot of young millennials, I get the teenagers, I even have some young middle school children that come into the restaurant after school. They tell me, Miss Dawn, I didn't eat lunch at school today because I didn't like it.
Oh, so they're making choices.
So they come to the Nourish Spot and they spend their hard-earned allowance money at the Nourish Spot, and that really warms my heart.
That's wonderful.
I also get older people that come in for our shots. We serve wheatgrass shots. We serve turmeric shots, which is good for inflammation in your body.
Yes, it is.
We also serve, and all of our stuff is raw and organic. So it's not powders. We don't do powders unless it's a protein powder. We do offer those, but everything else, our wheatgrass is real wheatgrass that we cut from the dirt, ginger roots, turmeric roots, and we have real organic fruits and vegetables. When you come into the Nourish Spot, you'll see real apples, green and red. You'll see oranges. You'll see pineapples, grapefruits, plums, pretty much everything. We do papaya, any kind of fruit, because we serve everybody, every ethnicity. So a lot of the people from East India, they come in, they want watermelon and they want lemon, okay? Or we have a guy that comes in every day and all he wants is orange juice. He wants us to fresh orange juice. We had a woman come in the other day, an older woman. She just wanted the biggest cup of carrot juice, and she sat there at the restaurant and she drank every bit of it and then walked out and said thank you.
Oh, wow.
So another big thing that we serve, so people like dessert. We all like something sweet, right? Sure. So we offer our yogurt parfaits, and they are the rage, okay?
Because a yogurt parfait?
Yogurt parfait.
Tell us a little bit about that.
You can actually come into the Nourish Spot and customize your our own yogurt parfait. We provide a Greek yogurt, a vanilla Greek yogurt, and the granola. But you get to choose the fruits and nuts, because we keep all different kind of nuts in the store that would adorn your fruit. And I would tell you that this has been so funny to me. People will come in and they'll order, a smoothie or a juice, a wrap or a salad, and a yogurt parfait. Now, sometimes we make them out of order. And so the parfait will be made first. Do you know that customers come in and they will eat their parfait before they finish everything, and they're like, "Oh, Dawn, I need another one." So the yogurt parfaits are really, really the rage. And then we try to do, during the winter months, we try to do a soup. So today we have a wonderful black bean soup that you could get embellished or adorned or amped up, as we say, with some avocado, some fresh avocado.
Wow.
So I would really recommend that everybody come. Allow us to nourish you at the Nourish Spot.
And tell me about the Nourish Spot. Where is it located? How can people reach you? And
okay. Well, the Nourish Spot is located at 10705 Guy R Brewer Blvd. For all you old heads out there, that's the old New York Boulevard. Okay. And we are also, you can call us at 718-526-2099. And for all of you out there on social media, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at the Nourish Spot, and on Instagram as well, at the Nourish Spot.
Now, Dawn, I wanted to ask you something. Now we're going on, but a little off the beat, about business. Okay, about your Nourish Spot. Yes, tell me. This month is for women.
History
Month for
yes.
women, and the accomplishments that they have accomplished.
Yes.
And you're one of them. Tell me, was it very difficult for you to start your business?
Well, yes, it was challenging, because I'm a worker. So I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and my parents, well-meaning and well-intentioned, they encouraged me to go to college and work. Get a job. No one really talked to us about owning our own business. Okay, that just wasn't something that you heard about in my family. I don't know about other families, but that's just what we all did. We all got a job and we all worked. And so I did what I was told. I went to college, I graduated, and then I went and found a job. And I just kept doing good work and getting promoted. And so my last job, I was working for Prudential Financial, which is a financial services firm in Newark, New Jersey. And I worked there for 16 years, and it was a wonderful job. I got to see the world. I traveled all over this place. I've been to Japan, Poland, Taiwan, Mexico, Germany, London. I mean, pretty much I've seen the world, and I'm grateful. But on September 9th, 2015, I got the news that my role there had been eliminated, and that I needed to, leave the building, if you will, because they were going in a different direction.
So what gave you the courage to go out and start your own business? Were you inspired? Did you have any mentors or any people that you were looking up to that had done that before?
Well, yes, I would say yes. I did have people in my circle that had their own businesses. So a guy friend of mine, he had his own business on Farmers Boulevard. So that was one. I also had a very good friend of mine. You guys may know who she is, Miko Branch.
Oh, yes.
She owns Miss Jessie's. Okay. And
Miss Jessie's,
yes.
Yeah.
And Miko was a very good friend of mine. Okay. And so I had recently read her book about starting her business, and it was very, very inspiring. And then I had a whole host of other people that I could look up to. But what really turned it around for me, Glenn, is I will tell you that after losing my job, I was home crying for a little while.
Sure.
I won't.
You actually have to allow yourself to grieve.
Yes, and I did. I grieved for quite some time until my daughter came into my room one day. My daughter at that time was 26 years old. And she came into my room one day. I'm a single parent. And so that was one of the things that really unnerved me, was because I'm responsible for my children.
Sure.
And while they was adults. They were still young adults. And so I still felt that I needed to have some discretionary income to help them if in fact they needed the help.
Absolutely.
And I also had a home and a car and
Okay,
bills
so you wanted
to pay.
to keep those things
right?
going.
And so I didn't want to lose any of those things. And then I would tell you this, I told you that I saw the world. So I loved being able to travel for my company. And so now I didn't have the travel privileges anymore. So I grieved. I grieved long and hard. And then my daughter came in my room one day and she sat next to me on my bed. And she said to me, "Mommy, I don't know who you are anymore. This lady's not my mother."
You had changed that drastically?
She said, "Mommy, you're a fighter. You don't give up. You need to know that I'm watching you."
Wow.
And I would tell you that I put her out my room immediately. And I cried some more. But then I wiped my tears and I went and looked at myself in the mirror. And I didn't like what I saw. And I would tell you, I'm a radical believer in Jesus Christ. And so while I was crying, I was praying, but I wasn't praying as hard as I usually do. And I really feel like God, when I looked in the mirror, I heard a small voice said to me, "You think they lynched you. I launched you."
All right.
All right.
Say a
Let's
thing.
pause. Say it
Say a
again.
thing.
You think I let them lynch you, but I launched you. You're free. Go do whatever you want to do. And I would tell you that day, I got in the shower, I washed my hair, I got myself together, and then I started traveling. That's all I did. I started traveling because my daughter at that time had just got a job working for an airline.
Oh boy, so you
And
got
so
the
I
comps.
got mother privileges, and so we started traveling. And I think that was just some self-care that I needed because I had been working straight since I was a kid, okay? I've always had a job. I like having my own money. So I've always worked. And I never really was without a job. The only time I was without a job is when my kids were in my belly, okay? And I was out on maternity leave. Otherwise, I worked. So I had never known what it was like not to work. And so now I have free time on my hand. I went everywhere, okay? Me and my daughter, we just were getting on planes and going everywhere.
So
And
where did the idea come from now with Nourish Spot?
I would tell you, we came off the road one day. I had the opportunity to go on 3 interviews because I still really hadn't given up on corporate America. So I went on 3 interviews. And the last one, I'm going to tell you guys, I walked out.
Good for you. Good for you to
I-
have
I-
the courage to
I
do that.
walked immediately out of the interview because I didn't like the line of questioning and I didn't like what I was getting from across the table.
I hear you.
And so it felt like what I felt the day that they let me go at Prudential. So I just told myself right then and there, and I told God, "You take care of babies and fools. I'm no baby. I'm walking out." And so I walked out and I went home. And when I got home, I laid across my bed. And I'm a PR person. I'm trained public relations professional. And so on my TV, I always keep CNN playing. It's always on.
Okay.
And I'm laying there on my bed, kind of tearing up again because I just walked out of an interview for an executive position. And I'm like, what am I thinking? And then I heard on the television, next up, Styles P opens Juice Bar in Westchester. And I would tell you too, I kind of turned my head. I said, "Juice Bar, Father? I could do that." And I swung my body up, Indian style, looked at that TV, dissected everything, and things started just popping in my head. You see, I worked for Prudential for 16 years. By the time I was leaving Prudential, I was wearing a size 16. I could hardly walk. My ankles were swollen, okay? Because late night stress, social drinking, all the things that come with working in corporate America. And I really wasn't taking care of myself, and I probably was more unhappy than I was letting on. And so opened my phone and I realized that I had been juicing for 2 years. Because I was posting pictures on Instagram of the different juices that I was actually making for myself at Planet Smoothie and Penn Station. Because what I would do is go to work, go to Penn Station on the Long Island Railroad, stop at Planet Smoothie, that would be my breakfast, make me a juice, and then get on the New Jersey Transit and go on to work, right? So then when I'm looking at the pictures, I realized that I also had pictures of cups and prices. And I'm
Perfect.
like,
Right.
God does all things well. He was planning this and I didn't even know it. And so then I'm like, again, I'm going to say it again. I'm a radical believer in Jesus Christ. I challenged God. I said, where am I going to put it? You want me to do a juice bar? Where is it going to go? And I heard the Lord say real clear, go out on Guy Brewer and look up. So I live around the corner from Guy Brewer.
Okay.
So I woke up my daughter. I told you guys she's a flight attendant, so she wasn't too happy with me waking her up, right? But I said to her, can you come outside with me? And she said, come outside with you for what? I said, God said, and she did it like that. She said, you're my mother. If you want me to go with you, I'm going to go with you. So we went on outside, and I'm not going to tell you I wasn't feeling a little crazy, but again, if I hear God's voice, I listen. And so I go outside, and on 107th Avenue, it's there. There's a light pole. So I put my hand on the light pole, and I put my head down. I said, okay, God, I'm out here. I'm going to look up. I was scared. And I would tell you that I was still thinking I might be going crazy. But whatever, I'm going to do this. So I put my head up, and I look straight. And all I see is the bodega in front of me. So, I immediately felt like I was losing my mind and that I was embarrassed in front of my kid. And then she started yelling at me. No joke. You got to look left or right. You bring me outside. It's early in the morning. I'm tired. Mommy, you got to look left or right. Come on now. You got to do more than that. And so I say to her, Jade, please, don't yell at your mother. I'm fragile. If you want to pick me up out the middle of the street, because we got lots of buses that go down Guy Brewer.
Yes.
I said, if you want to pick me up out the middle of the street, you keep yelling. She said, I'm sorry. She said, but mommy, please, look left or right. So I put my head down again, and I say to God, please don't make me a fool in front of my child. Like, I could take a lot, but not in front of my kid. So, put my head up, and I look to the left, and I don't see anything. But then I swing my head to the right, and I see it. And my knees start to buckle.
No kidding.
And I start sliding down the pole, and I just say, I see it, I see it. I see it, I see it. And she said, what? What are you seeing? And she said, oh my God, I see it too. The awning where my store is today had this on it. DK Upholstery. My name is Dawn Kelly.
Ooh, wow, that was the sign.
Wow.
And we are now in that store. And I would tell you this. I had to keep going back and forth because the gate was always down, right? I had to keep going back and forth around the corner. I felt like I was stalking it, right? Because now I'm like, okay, God's real. That's for real. That's gonna be my store. And so, but every day I would go. It was never up, and I would ask the people around, and no one knew who owned it. And I won't tell you that I was starting to get a little discouraged. One day I was in a friend's car, and we were going across Guy Brewer Blvd, and I happened to look to the right, and the gate was up.
Watch out now.
I jumped out his car in the middle of the street. He didn't know what was going on.
Right.
This was your moment.
Yes. I jumped out the car. I ran over to the building. I looked in the door. There was a man. He was like scraping the walls, right? So immediately I thought, oh no, somebody got this space, right? So I'm banging on the door, and so he comes to the door, and I'm like, God told me, and he's just looking at me like, you're crazy lady. Right? And so he said, wait, calm down. I said, are you renting this place? Is this yours? And he said, no, ma'am. I'm just cleaning it up for the landlord. He's trying to get it ready for rent, right? He wants to rent it. I said, well, it's mine. I said, I need the landlord's number. And so he gave me the landlord's number, and the rest is history.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And I would tell you one really good story about that whole thing. So I didn't have a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the landlord said to me, you have to go to the real estate agency and fill out papers. So I said, okay. So I go to the real estate agency, and it was a nice young man named Marlon Briscoe. And so I fill out the paperwork, and you know where it says employment,
Right.
right? I put NA, not applicable, right? So when he came in to get the stuff, he said, I'm gonna go out there, I'll be right back. And then he came back, and when he came back to get me, he was looking at me kind of strange, right? So he said, you can come with me now. So we go into his office, and he has the little clipboard with the application, you know,
Turn
right?
it over.
And so he says, Miss Kelly, and I think he just didn't know how to articulate it to me.
Right.
Like, I don't understand a black person with no job trying to get a rent someplace, okay? So he was like, under employment, you say not applicable. You don't work? And I said, no, I don't. I'm retired. He just shook his head. He said, you too young to be retired. I said, well, listen, I didn't retire on purpose. They retired me. I said, so now I'm looking to open up a juice bar, and I would like to use this space. So he said, well, you know the rent is, and you know, because money, I'm sure he's a real estate agent, so he's concerned about how I'm going to pay the rent. So he's like, you know, you got to pay rent, and the rent is this, and you got to give me 2 months. And so I said, I got money, because I worked in financial services. And I would tell you this, I was the first person in my family to rise to the heights that I did. My mother worked in a bank, so I learned a lot from her about, you know, saving and budgeting. But I'm the first person in my family to make the kind of money that I made. And I would tell you that I always sat around thinking, if anything ever happened to me, no one's going to be laughing at me because I wasted my money.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
I saved it, okay? And then, of course, I was a senior executive at a major financial services firm. I didn't walk out with nothing. They had to give me a severance package. And
so hold up here. So for all those listeners out there, how much of your salary did you put away for savings?
Well, I put 10%.
Percentage.
I put 10% away just in my 401k. And then I saved money. You know, we got bonuses and things like that. I tried to save 5%, at least 5% of my bonus, because, you know, I had to share with my kids and stuff. And, you know, I mean, I'm a woman. I like buying nice things. So, I mean, I didn't starve myself, but I made sure I saved. So,
okay, let me just underline this piece, because one of the things when we look in our community and we talk and think about investing, it's important that you put something aside. So in this case, Dawn, because of her mother working in a bank, she understood finances, understood basics like balancing your checkbook and making sure that you're monitoring your money. Obviously, she's in financial services, so she knows about investing. So she invested in her money wisely, 10% plus a little something extra. So all of those things added up. So now when she's ready to go launch her own business, she's not coming in there with a hat in the hand asking for anything. She's coming in there ready to deal and to open up a business. So just want to underline that that's also part of, for those of you out there who want to own your own business or open your own business, you gotta you gotta prepare yourself financially. So you have to be prepared financially. Go ahead, continue the story.
Yes, and I just want to piggyback on that. Not only did I save money in a regular savings account, but I also did invest. You see, working for a financial services firm does have its perks. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, while I was at the company went public, and I was an executive in the company. So that was the first time that I ever had even heard of shares. I didn't even know what that was, okay? Mm-hmm. And so they gave us shares, and Listen, once they gave me that, I couldn't stop buying stuff. I was buying Facebook, I was buying Xerox, I was buying McCormick and Schmidt, you know, because everybody use spices, right? So I have stocks, okay? I went out and I bought stocks, and those stocks helped me, okay? They help me because you can sell them when you need some money, okay? Right. So let me finish with Marlon. So he said, so you sure you'll be able to handle this? I said, yes, sir. I got money. I could do this, all right? So I didn't hear from him for a little while. You know, I just stayed in prayer. And then one day, I got a call from him. He said, "Can you meet us around the corner at the store?" Right? So I said, "Okay." And now they didn't say bring them money or anything, but I'm a smart girl. Okay, so I went straight to the bank. Okay, and I got a cashier's check for 3 months' rent.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because I wanted to be ready if they said you could have it. Okay, and so I walked in, right, had that check in my back pocket, okay, I walked in, and the landlord, he's a nice Jamaican man, okay, really nice, could be a little gruff sometimes, but he's a really nice man. So I walked in, and he was like, you know, shook my hand, and he was like, Marlon tells me you don't work.
Oh my God, how embarrassing. He wasn't felt. How did you feel when he said that?
I felt fine. Yeah, I felt fine. I was really confident. I mean, listen, I knew God was behind me, okay? This was a God-ordained mission, okay? So I was fine. I laughed, right? I said, nope, I don't. Like that. I said, you mad because I don't work?
Oh my God.
And so he said, well, you know, if I, he said, what would you like to put here? And I said, sir, I would like to open up a juice bar. He said, what's that? So I explained it to him. He said, oh, that's nice, like that. He said, that's really nice. So then Marlon said, well, we would need a month's rent and a month's security deposit and something else. And so I said, oh, okay. Here you go. They said, the landlord took my hand. He took the keys. He said, welcome.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I know that's right.
Oh, my God.
I know that's right.
That's beautiful.
And so I've been in business there ever since.
Congratulations. I take
Thank
my
you.
hat off to you.
That's
You
awesome.
really deserve this SBA award.
And let me tell you one more thing that I'm very, very proud of. You know, I know when I worked at Prudential, we did a survey about the African American financial behaviors and experience. And one of the things that we talked about in there was about business, was about investing, and was about leaving a legacy for your children.
Absolutely.
And I would tell you that as a single parent, you know, I thought about, oh yeah, I could leave my kids a house, right? But I've heard all the horror stories about how children lose houses with taxes and all that kind of stuff.
True.
And so I said, and I have 2 kids. So I'm like, okay, I want to leave them something else, right? I want to be, you know, I want to be like Microsoft. I want to be like Heinz Ketchup. I want to leave something when I'm not here anymore. And so
legacy.
I wanted to leave a legacy. And so I believe that the Nourish Spot is a legacy that I'm leaving to my children. And I'm very, very happy to say to you guys that when I started my business, I didn't go walking into a bank looking for a loan. I financed the whole thing on my own. I don't owe anybody anything.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story.
That, my dear, is what we talk about, the American dream. You know, you walk in and you don't need to borrow anything. See, one of the shortfalls of opening a business in this day and age is access to capital. And people have great ideas, but they don't have the backing to finance it, to make it happen. And you were able to do it on your own because you had the insight and foresight. Some people do it with a family, extended family. And in fact, let me tell you a quick story. I was doing a radio show on financing, and I had this woman on from the financial services, and she told me this story, and I'll never forget it. She did a study between the Vanderbilts and the Rothschilds. And the Vanderbilts, you know, if you go back in our history, both of them are very, very wealthy. the Vanderbilts lost their generational wealth over 3 generations. The Rothschilds increased theirs. And of course, the difference was that the Rothschilds invested, 2 things. One is that they actually had an investment week where they would get together as a family and talk about different investment ventures, so that they had a training for all of the family members. They also had a pool of money that they would lend to the family members who wanted to go out and investigate other investment opportunities that weren't necessarily in the family. 2 things they had to do with that money. They had to come back, of course, give it back. That's
Right. Put it back in the pool.
Put it back in the pool.
Right.
But then the other thing was they had to report on what were the plus and minuses of that investment vehicle. Okay. So that not only would they learn about the new investments, and other family members would then have an opportunity to invest in that if they chose to, because they didn't have to spend the money to find out about it. They had a member who did and could advise them on how that particular industry works.
Yes, Glenn, but most minority families do not have, first of all, the education or knowledge, and if they do, it's always a lot of static between the members of the family. I don't want to do this, I want to do this.
I disagree with you. I'm going to say this.
I want to jump in here too.
Right.
Okay.
Because you have investment clubs, okay, that family members can start. We started one, the People of African Descent Empowerment Group here in New York decided that we were going to go into equity market. We didn't know anything about investing. So what we decided is that we joined an investment club. We studied how they worked, and what we decided is we were going to set up a partnership that used $1,000 to get in, and so not everybody had $1,000.
Okay.
So we did a susu until everybody got enough money to be able to put in their $1,000 to start it, and then we had trainings on investing. How do you look at an investment property? How or stock? How do you evaluate it? And we had the training to do that, and then we had everybody to go out and pick something that they liked, and then bring it back to the club. Now, we didn't buy everything that everybody brought back to the club, but we as a club would then decide, what we were going to do, if we were going to buy it or not as a group.
Right.
And now that individual could have still bought it themselves if they so
They
chose.
wanted to.
But the point was that you have now multiple people studying and bringing back, and we only met once a month, so it wasn't like we weren't day traders or anything like that. But we studied it, and we used the investment club strategy to pick.
So it worked.
It worked really well.
It worked.
And yes, it does work. Because I would tell you that after I learned, then I shared that information with my children, right? So one thing I would say is very important. Once you get a job, as soon as you walk in the door, sign up for your 401k. Right? A lot of kids don't want to do that, but I'm telling you, I signed up for my 401k when I was 26 years old, and I'm glad I did, okay? So that's number one. Number two is, I didn't know anything, Pauline. I learned. I picked up books. I watched podcasts. I watched Warren Buffett, because he's, in terms of investing in money, he's my idol, okay? And so I watched him. I listened to him. Okay, there's a woman named Deborah Owens who wrote a book called Nickel and Dime Your Way to Wealth. Okay, I read that book. Okay, and then I gave it to my kids and made it required reading. And so what you're saying What Glenn is saying, I've done that in my home and with my brothers and with my nephews and my nieces and my sister. Okay, so you got to start somewhere, right? I would say don't beat yourself up because you didn't do it yesterday. Let's start today, right? And you can build wealth by starting today, by investing in things that you like, right? So I don't know what kind of sneakers you got on, right? But what kind of clothes you're wearing, but all those things, invest in those companies because you're spending your money there. So you know that those companies are actually making money because you're spending your money with them.
Now, I love your information, and I know that you have interns.
Yes.
That work with you when they're in your store and they're just talking. Do you talk to them about business?
Oh, I talk to them about everything. So I'm sure my interns call me their tormentor. Because what I do is I pretty much talk to them about life. Okay. It's important. They're children, they're teenagers, they're in high school, and they're not thinking, I wish somebody would have said some more of the things that I've learned when I was their age. Like I think about, like, if I had known some of the things I learned in my 30s when I was 19 or 18, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys right now.
Yeah, I understand that. That's true.
Right.
That's very true.
Let's be honest.
It wasn't taught in school.
Right.
I didn't know.
I would be on my own jet somewhere. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because the only time that I ever heard about a stock, I went to Sacred Heart Elementary School. And one time we did an exercise with the New York Times and the stock tables. One time. Mm-hmm. And I remember it. But that's the only time that we talked about it. I mean, like I told you earlier, my parents talked about money because we lived in a house, right? So we talked about money, and my mother used to allow me to write the bills out. So I had an idea of, her check coming in and her check leaving, right? So I knew about budgeting and saving, but I didn't know about stock market stuff. I didn't know about bonds. I didn't know about that stuff. I didn't know about 401ks and mutual funds and all of that. I know about all of that now. And so I train the kids on that. It's so funny. The young lady that's there in the store right now working, her name is Aviana McNaughton. So I got on Aviana because she came to me as an intern, okay? They came to me through different programs, the Mayor CCAP program, Queens Connect, a Child Care Center of New York, and my daughter Jade, she's the one that arranged all of that. So they came to us for culinary internships. We taught them about how to do things in the store, how customer service, all that kind of stuff, right? And so I now have hired Aviana, and I hired another young man named Sebastian, right? They still high school students, but they were excellent in what they did. And then Aviana went and took the food handlers test at 17, okay? So I had to hire her, all right? So I hire her, and now I know I'm paying her, right? She's getting a salary, right? Every time I turn around, she got something new. So I said to her one day, Aviana, I said, are you putting 10% of your check away? Or is it every time you get it, you on the avenue? She said, oh, Miss Dawn. I said, no, sweetie. You need to put 10% of your check away.
Yes. What did she say?
You're going to thank me for this later.
Absolutely.
And she said, I am. I'm going to do it. I talked to them about going to college. I talked to them about male-female relationships. I talk to them about eating healthy. I talk to them about everything because I tell you, they're an extension of me, okay? I have my own 2 grown children, okay? But I see these kids, they're with me for 4 or 5 hours a day. I see it as my responsibility to make sure that they are knowledgeable about everything that I'm knowledgeable about. And not just them. I pretty much, anybody that comes in my store, I should have a sign on the door that says, if you come in here, I'm going to bother you. I'm going to get in your business, okay?
I want to say one thing. We're here on Caribbean Buzz TV and radio. This is the Hour of Power, our world, our power, and always on Saturdays from 5 to 7.
To 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm extending it.
I know.
From 5 to 6. And there's different ways to contact us. We can be reached at 607-301-0962. Here, if you wanted to ask us any questions, please call in. Again, the number is 607-301-0962. Our World Hour of Power. Let's continue.
Let me jump in for a second here. So, Dawn, what you just talked about is the power of black businesses. When we are in business, we take it upon ourselves to train our employees, to train our children, to train the people in our community. And that's why it's so important that you have a business, a small business in our community. One of the things when we look at overall economic development, when we don't own our own real estate in our community, then we get what anybody else wants to put in there rather than what we see that the community needs. Clearly, you are addressing a dire need to be healthy in our community, and that's a missing, because healthy food in general is a food desert for healthy food in our communities, and what you're providing in the Nourish Spot is an opportunity to eat healthy, to drink healthy, and to have conversations that are empowering our well-being. And as a food, I'm definitely a foodie.
Yes.
But there's something, I believe that most of our health issues are caused by what we eat.
Oh yes,
And,
it is.
and so the vitality that you're providing in nourishment and being conscious of the food that you're putting into your body is so much needed. So I just want to thank you for having the courage to open up your own business, number one, and to be providing a service that is so critical to our well-being. You know, we have the highest diabetes. We've got the, I can go through all the different ailments that our community has. And you're making a difference in that area by providing healthy and health-conscious conversations so that people can take ownership and responsibility for their own health.
Yes, I would tell you that one of my taglines is my dad used to always tell us when we were growing up, you are what you put into yourself. So that's on the bottom of every single receipt. And it's not just about the food you put in, but it's the books you read, it's the people you're around. It is. You are a composite of all of the things that you take in from your environment. Another one is health is wealth.
Yes, amen.
Because if you're not healthy, you can't do anything else.
You can say that again. My back is killing me. And that stops the show.
So yes, health is wealth. And I want to give a shout out to one of my college friends. I'm a graduate of Howard University, HU.
Okay.
One of my friends, his name is Keith. When I first started the Nourish Spot, Keith reached out to me on Facebook and he said, you're making people's lives longer.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, I hadn't even thought that far out, right? And so we also say that eating healthy actually extends your longevity on earth.
Absolutely.
So we're really proud of it. And I would tell you that we're doing so good. We're doing so good. So Miss Pauline, Lady Pauline, brought up this letter that I got. So we do really good work. And like I said, we partner with all of the area businesses. Like, I'm not one of those people that you have your own business, so I can't talk about your business. Anybody that comes into my store, if they have their own business, I make sure I tell the world about it. So today, Lion Guard Tax Service was in my office, in the store right before I came to see you guys. Sheila and her sister Sophia. So I took a picture picture with them too, because I'm going to post that on Instagram and tell people, if you're looking to get your taxes done, you go to this sister right here, because she is providing taxes. Last week, another woman from Cortex, Danielle, she came in. Okay, I took a picture of her and I put it online. That Cortex is a place for you to go. Yesterday or the day before, a woman named Keisha, who owns a venue called Level Up on Merrick Boulevard, was there. So what I see my role is to make sure that, because I'm a PR person by trade, that's what I do. Okay, that's what runs in my DNA.
Yeah, I need you, Dawn.
I can't. I really can't help promoting others. That's just who I am. And so I try my best to make sure that anybody that takes the time to come into my doors, okay, and spend their hard-earned dollar and cents with us, then I take the time to make sure the world knows what they're doing. So as a result, one of my customers, she lives across the street from me. She's a great grant writer. Her name is Shola Thompson. We partner on a lot of things together. And so when she sees things that we can apply for, we apply. And one of the things that I came across was that the SBA honors businesses every year. Now, I had never known about this before, okay? And so I talked to Shola about it, and the next thing I know, she had written a recommendation, and she was asking me for information, so I gave it to her. Well, yesterday, Thursday, I'm sitting in the store, the mailman comes in, and I know all the post handlers by name, came in and said, oh, you got a letter, and just put it down. So I was busy, so I didn't really pay attention. I just put it away. And then I went in my office and I sat down and I read it. And I started screaming in my office. I mean, literally screaming, that the guy that works for me came running back and says, everything okay? I said, yes, it's okay. I said, because I got a letter that says that the U.S. Small Business Administration, New York District Office, is informing me that that the Nourish Spot is the micro business of the year for 2019.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
My goodness.
Awesome.
And on May 7th, they are going to honor me and other people that got the other awards, because there was a whole list of different type of awards. They're going to honor us at the Microsoft Technology Center in Manhattan. So all my friends out there, you too.
Yeah, I'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be there. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to be there.
You all are invited to join me as the Nourish Spot gets recognized for the work that we're doing in South Jamaica, Queens. I can't tell you, and I'm trying my best not to get overwhelmed, but I can't tell you just how proud I am of my children and myself. My son created our logo. My daughter graduated from Johnson & Wales University. She's a culinarian. She's traveled the world on a ship. She's worked at Disney. But she used her skills to come up with our menu. This is our menu.
Yeah.
She put together the flavors.
Oh, wow.
And my son too. I'll make you laugh.
I love your mango juice.
We have a natural juice blend. We have a natural juice blend called Playing with My Emotions. And so before we were opening, the three of us would be in the store and we would be concocting things together. And so when we put this particular juice blend together, we gave it to Owen. My son's name is Owen. We gave it to Owen to try it. And so he drinks it and he's like standing there and then he says, you know what? This juice is playing with my emotions. And we were like, that's it. That's the name.
Oh, no.
That's the name. And I would tell you, it's a bestseller.
Oh, wow.
It's a bestseller because we had a little celery in that juice. It has a lot of fruit juice, but we had a little celery in it to give it a little bit more of a nutritional value.
Yeah, and give it a little
and people love it. Like, we can't make it enough.
Please give us your address again and how people can reach you.
Okay, the Nourish Spot is located at 10705 Guy R Brewer Blvd in Jamaica, Queens, New York. As we say, South Side, inside South Side. And we can be found on social media at the Nourish Spot. And if you can't walk in, you can order food through Uber Eats, DoorDash, Seamless, Grubhub, and Postmates.
Okay, great. And thank you for coming on the show, Dawn, and being our guest host. Glenn, tell me what's going on in the community, Sutton Boulevard,
Well,
Mr. Mayor.
So,
I like that, Glenn.
We got 5 minutes to.
I like that.
well, I actually just want to stay on this conversation
Okay.
because I think that owning and starting your own business is what we as a community need to do so much more of. The opportunities to start your business. You've got Small Business Development Center at your college. We've got Business Solutions at 90-27 Sutphin Boulevard. There's also another Business Solutions at the corner of 168th, and so it's an opportunity for you to go get your business plans done. Look for financing. There are monies available from what they call CDFIs. It's a community development financial institutions, which they actually get money from the federal government, from the feds, and they get it at a reduced amount specifically to support community businesses. And I can tell you that there are different specialties. So there may be one that is specific for restaurant machinery. There's another one for inventory if you're in the construction business. They've got CDFIs for immigrants. So there are lots of different specialty areas that you can get access to capital. Now, this young lady here did it on her own. Not all of us can do that, but there are some opportunities out in the world, CDFIs, that are different than the regular major banks. Go ahead, Dawn, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing. Glenn, I did get help from the SBA at your college. Okay, I also got help from the Business Solutions Center, on Sutton Boulevard. There's also this program through the city called MBAT, New Business Acceleration Team. And so I need to thank Lisa Ennis, because Lisa held my hand through the building stage, through the construction stage, the building stage, the licensing stage, the health and welfare stage. And so there are a lot, like you said, there are a lot of free programs out there to help you get your business up and running. And I did take advantage of all of those. And then I want to say one more thing. Once you get your business, let me tell you another thing you need to do. We're certified. We're certified by New York City. We're certified by New York State as a minority women business enterprise and a women business enterprise. We're also certified by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey as a ACDBE and a DBE. And we're also a registered bidder for the Department of Education. So we're looking for contracts right now. We're looking to expand in airports and stadiums. And so Yankee Stadium, I'm looking for you.
All right.
Shea Stadium, I'm looking for you. Malls, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for a majority partner, because in most of these, you do need a majority partner that's committed to diversity and inclusion, to find small businesses like me and some of the other small businesses out there, so that we can grow and expand in some of these bigger, larger opportunities. LaGuardia is building. Kennedy is building.
That's right.
I need somebody out there that really believes in diversity and inclusion and wants to be able to crow and say that they care about the little people. I need them to come see me at the Nourish Spot.
I'm one of the little people, you know. Our world, our power, where your news reflects you and your community. Catch you next week. Lady Pauline, our famous host, doctor, I should call you doctor too.
The mayor.
The mayor of Sutton Boulevard, Glenn Greenwich, and our special guest host today, Dawn Kelly from the Nourish Spot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, Nourish Spot. Yeah.
Yes.